from Ultimate Music Theory, and I'm excited to be here today because today we're talking about why teach music history. So if you are a music teacher, just share with me in the chat, do you currently teach music history as part of your curriculum as you're teaching music theory? So who really cares? Sometimes when we talk about music history, people go, oh, I don't know. I don't really care about that. Does it matter if we teach music history or not? Well, today I'm going to give you 3 notes. So you might want to grab a pen and write down a couple of notes as to why you do want to be teaching music history as part of your curriculum. So I'm excited to get started with you. Go ahead and share with me. Do you currently teach music history as part of your music theory program? So today I'm going to be sharing with you 3 tips on why you do want to teach music history. So our first tips today are, we're going to go through 3 tips, and they are P, S, and C. I wonder if you can guess what they are. We're talking about music history. So oftentimes when I remember when I was first learning music history and in my music studies, and I thought it was boring. I wasn't interested. And probably it was because the way that it was presented was just, here's a bunch of facts, memorize this, then go do your exam, and then forget everything you learned. So let's talk about how we can engage our students and make them, fall in love with learning music history and how they can apply that into their teaching. And if you're new, you can join us live inside our Ultimate Music Theory Teachers Facebook group. Don't miss it, where I'm going live in there as well. So Ultimate Music Theory Teachers Facebook group, you want to join us live there. So let's talk about these 3 tips that we're going to learn today about teaching music history. So let's start with the letter P. Are you ready? Perfect. Our letter P today stands for past purpose. So what I mean by that is, to understand music at a deeper level, we need to look at the past purpose for such things such as, what instruments did they use in the past? What were those instruments? Well, when we talk about music history, these are called performing forces. And it indicates the instruments or voice types that were used to compose music, because each has its own unique tone color, right? So if you're going to be writing a piece of music that's about a sweet little lullaby, you might not want to use the drums and a big horn section, because it might be a little bit overpowering. You might want to use a violin or a soft piano sound. So we want to talk about what's the purpose and how did they compose their music? And what is all this different genres about, right? Another great thing that you can do is actually ask your students, what kind of genre do they like listening to? Do they like rap? Do they like pop? Do they like classical? Like, what's their favorite? And the interesting thing is that sometimes we have favorites for different things in our life. If you're going to do some meditation, then you're not going to listen to the same, jazz stuff that when you want to be out dancing. So we love music with all different genres. So how did they share their music? Wow, that's a big one. I mean, even in our lifetime, if you're in my age bracket, how did we share our music? Well, we had to create a CD, we had to put it in the mail, and we had to send it to our friends or radio stations or whatever. So it is important for us to realize all these changes have come about, and we can be a part of this. And we learn from our past purpose as to how we can put this together and really share our music and our ideas. So we want to learn from the past purpose. Does that make sense for you? Okay, I see a thumbs up. Excellent. So when we're thinking about this, one of the things we want to share is, how can we remember all of this? So I think it's important that first we learn about the past. Are you good with that? Say yes. Okay, thumbs up. Excellent. Because what might be boring to some can be introduced as being really engaging and memorable in another way. Aha. So that brings us to the letter S. What might that be? Any takers? The letter S stands for simple storytelling. Now, I can tell you that when I first learned, music history, as I shared with you, I thought it was boring. But I have found that as an educator, the most memorable way to learn about music history is simple storytelling. So today, let me tell you a story. The story is about a boy named Harold and his dog named Smuts. Isn't that a cute story? And this story you will find inside the Ultimate Music Theory supplemental workbook at level 5. And this is part of the history requirements if you're doing a level 5 music theory exam. So here's the story to make this memorable for you. Once upon a time, there was a boy named Harold. And he studied the piano and he studied voice. And his dream was to become a performer. By the age of 15, he was performing with his friends in a group called the Snappy Trio. How many people were in his band? 3, right? The Snappy Trio. Now remember, Harold's dog named Smuts was a big part of his life. And his dog named Smuts loved to sit on top of his piano while Harold played the piano and he composed his songs. Now, one of Harold's most famous songs is called Over the Rainbow. Have you heard of it? I think you have. And Over the Rainbow won an Academy Award and was recognized as the best song of the 20th century. Wow, Harold Arlen, famous. So we want to think about, we as teachers and musicians, what can you do to bring all of this to life to encourage your students to just explore the past? And through simple storytelling, it might motivate them to think about composing, right? I like stories. Did you like that story about Harold and his dog? Yes, give me some love. Okay, great. I love stories. Now, how does that apply to teaching music theory? That brings us to our final letter, the letter C. So the letter C stands for, ready? Drum roll. Creativity challenge. I like a challenge. Are you up for a challenge? I hope so. Give me a little thumbs up. Yes, Glory, I'm up for a challenge. Okay, great. So when we're thinking about creativity challenge, and you can go ahead and share with me in the chat box, just yes, I do composing, or not yet, or how can I help you with that? So here's the creativity challenge. Help students think outside the box. In a creativity challenge, what elements can you use from the past, such as thinking about instruments or musical styles or composers, etc.? Incorporate your simple storytelling and help them to create new ideas. Think about, maybe they even want to invent a new instrument. I mean, there is such a thing, So maybe new instruments, maybe new compositions, or maybe there's music performances in the future. What do they want to create? So set a creativity challenge for your students. Are you in? Say yes. Okay, good. And if you're looking for ideas on how can you even get started with this, you can always go to teachumt.com and share your ideas there. It's part of our Ultimate Music Theory Teachers membership. And part of that is understanding and learning music history. We want to understand that universal language of music. And we also do weekly live coaching calls inside our Ultimate Music Theory Teachers membership. And there's so many resources in there for you just to get started. And I really invite you to join us. We have a lot of fun, and it is the most important thing for music educators. Just as you're supporting your students and your community of music students, you want to be part of a community of music teachers that is there to help you elevate your teaching, learn new ideas, and have an accountability partner for achieving your own success in your music studio. So I invite you to join us inside of our Ultimate Music Theory Teachers membership. You can simply go to teachumt.com teachumt.com. And don't forget to join us inside our Ultimate Music Theory Teachers Facebook group. And you can connect with educators from around the world and share your ideas too. So have fun, be creative. Don't forget to do the creativity challenge with your music students. So if you are passionate about sharing your ideas with fellow musicians and educators, be sure to hit like, comment below this video, make sure to share this video, and be part of music history in the making, because that's us, right? I'll see you inside teachumt.com. Thanks for joining me. I'm your host, Glory St. Germain. Until next time, teach with passion.